Peace YouTube, this is Flurboon coming today from a cold region. Peace family, check on in. I just wanted to come and make a really quick video, fairly quickly, to discuss something that I think needs to be noted. And it's about the Archons. I'll wait until you check in. Peace, Nyla, beautiful name. Hey Daya, Thea, Peaches, Luna. Yeah, I know you guys are seeing me with clothing. It's very wild. Hey, no one. Hey, Shannon. I'm bundled up and warm. Hey, Queen Goddess. Peace, peace. Hey, T-Will. I missed you too, T-Will. Hey, Linda. Peace. Cody. Coco. Oh, thank you, Coco. Peace awake. Peace, Carl. Peace, Weemond. I know you've never seen me with a coat. Hopefully you don't see me very often with one. I'm actually in the mountains of Pennsylvania for the holidays. You know, I don't really celebrate holidays, so I always travel during this season because a lot of people get a lot of time. And you know, I'm all about celebration and leisure. So, hey Maitreya, happy mama. Hey Rob, Cleveland, you're in Cleveland. I'll let you know I admire you some. Aw, thank you. Ray. Thank you, I appreciate that. Hey Amish. I know I'm cold. This is my staple when I'm out here. This is my neti pot. I do this. It's sniffing. It's not drugs. You know I'm drug free, but I sniff this. This is eucalyptus, and it helps to kind of re-up my immune system because I'm going into shock when I go into another. I am warm in this coat. I feel like I'm in Florida inside of my coat. So, peace. I wanted to kind of touch base on the Archons. You know, Archons are the knockoff specialists of the Matrix. They are the facilitators of all that you see as far as the construct, the physical construct of the Matrix. They are responsible for the physical construct, and they create worlds. They do, but they are knockoff specialists. They are not creative whatsoever. And any place where the Archons actually originate, a very stoic place, is very dark and gray, very non-original, very lacking of pattern and texture and color. Now Archons are like I said, the initiators of the Matrix. They are the constructs. They are the architects of the Matrix. And because of that, they have zero originality. They are knockoff specialists. They are the pirates of your uniqueness and your individuality. And yeah, they're parasites. Thank you, Luna. Absolutely. And our Archons and Reptilians, well, they're not the same. They're similar and they have some of the same agenda, not all the same. They just create worlds in order to feed for other beings to feed off of, including themselves. They feed off of the low field, and the beings inside the construct of their jail or their prison system. For that reason, Archons, you know, are the generators of this physical reality that we call the Matrix. And they are responsible for perpetuating the cylindrical pattern of our ebbs and flows, our karmic wheel. So what do I mean? What I mean by that, like AI, liken to that, Maitreya, liken to that. I wouldn't say precisely that exactly, but liken to it. What it is that, do you ever notice when you watch movies that there is a point where they cannot create new movies and all they do is make remakes of the same movies? So you'll see Batman 43, or you'll see you'll see a remake of Annie over and over, or you'll see remakes of old movies and old songs. You can never see an initiation of a new song. Like they perpetually keep going around in circles and circles because they're not creators. They're just copy and pasters. They just take the individuality, the uniqueness of the human being. The human is the only one who has unique patterns. The humans on this planet that are connected to Mother Tiamat are the only ones who create any sort of individuality, any spark, any bit of color, any flair, any new uniqueness. Those are only the human beings who are able to do that. Even beings that are genetically modified or grafted, they do not create anything. So for that reason, that's why you always see remixes everywhere. they are they are the remix masters, kind of like P Diddy. When P Diddy took old songs and always put them on his music, and it made his music better because he added something that was old that people remembered. And even with people that you see out in public eye, as far as celebrities, which are considered to be rock stars, they are also knockoffs and recycled beings of past regimes that you don't remember on a conscious level, but subconsciously you remember them, meaning they're recycled celebrities. So you can take someone from Kemetic times or Sumerian times or even Greek times, or at the height of their civilization, or Roman times, and you will take them, yes, and you will take those beings, and they were great in that time. What the Matrix and the Archons will do, these beings will be reincarnated as another celebrity, and you will see them, and you won't know why you like them right away, even if they're not that great or that talented. It's because your subconscious, your spiritual body, your spiritual self remembers these beings back in the Roman times, in the Greek times, in the Kemetic times, as heightened beings in celebrity status or in greatness, or goddesses, or kings and queens in those times. I wouldn't say goddesses, let me retract that. They were actually reincarnating beings. That's why you see sometimes on YouTube, you see pictures of celebrities, and you see old pictures, and you think they're time travelers. They're not time travelers. They're copied and pasted from previous times, sometimes as clones. I don't want to get too deep. I'm not allowed to talk about it. Sometimes it's clones, and they come back in this time, and your soul remembers them. So if you were a fan, and I'll give you an example. Remember when I told you that I have a full recollection of one of my past lives? And one of my past lives, I told you I was a drug addict. I was a lunar young lady, curly blonde hair. I used to run around wild with frizzy blonde hair, with barefoot. I was connected to the Edgar Cayce Institute. I think I talked about that before. I was a drug addict. I turned out, I died young. I grew up as a hippie. And some of you recognize me as that. Many of you recognize me as that girl. Many of you have dreams of me as her. I've heard you say it before, and you didn't know that I was connected to her because I was her. And I used to run around. I was getting high. I was having sex. Everything that I don't do to that degree. I don't do drugs, and I'm not having sex to that degree. But I was a full-blown hippie girl. Blonde hair, curly hair, running wild, having sex, listening to rock and roll. I thought I was Janis Joplin. And then I realized I was not Janis Joplin. You know how I realized? I was a fan of Janis Joplin. I used to listen to her when I got high in my past life, my previous incarnation. I used to get high listening to Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. So when I came back into this life, I automatically thought that I was Janis Joplin, because I just remembered everything. I remembered every song. I remembered everything about her. I felt like I had a connection to her, but I wasn't her. I just was somebody who was a super fan. So because of that, sometimes we come back. That's why sometimes people will say, oh my gosh, I think I was Cleopatra, or I was, I don't know, Mark Anthony, or I was, Mussolini. You know why they say that? It's not that they were. It's that they were so emphatically obsessed with them. They were fans. They were groupies. And they come back in this incarnation thinking automatically, because they have such a remembrance of those beings, and that they were fascinated by them so much in this life, that they were automatically those beings. No. You were not Marilyn Monroe. You admired them. You were maybe super fans of them, but you're not. Usually you come back. Those beings come back as in those forms of celebrity again, because they're recycled beings. That's why they put in celebrity. That's why they put in the front of the Matrix. They're not even real, and many of them don't have souls. Okay, so they're recycled beings. That is archonically based. The Archons have zero creativity. They source all creativity. Only beings that have creativity are those, even those who create languages. Take those from the Ebonic. Big up to those who speak Ebonics. Ebonics is also a form of creativity, of uniqueness, and beings, where many people of color, carbon beings, are criticized for speaking Ebonics, or speaking patois, or speaking sub languages based and fielded from other languages. Those beings are actually living in connection to their higher source, meaning that they have creativity because they are sparked with a soul, and they are directly grafted from Mother Earth. So only beings that have souls and have a connection to Mother Tiamat, Remember, some beings have souls, but they're not necessarily a connection to Mother Tiamat. Not all is the same. Some are different, and it's okay. Some beings have souls, but they're not directly grafted physically, biologically from Mother Tiamat. How do you know? I think I talked about this in my other video. If you are a direct descendant from the actual genetics of this planet, you will be able to match her beat of her heartbeat, meaning that you will have rhythm. That's why they say in movies, oh, you have soul, because you have rhythm. The rhythm is connected to the heartbeat of Mother Tiamat. Mother Tiamat's heartbeat, that's why everything has its own pattern and it goes to the beat of the heartbeat of Mother Earth that is naturally from here. Animals do it, people do it, even the frog, when its neck is, and even lizards, even neck is coming out and in, it's at the beat of the heartbeat. If you take a heartbeat and you put it next to a lizard or a frog, you will see the extension of their throat and in and out to the beat. Okay, sorry about that. I'm up in the mountains, so I'm happy I have reception. I don't really like to do videos that much when I'm away, but I just did it because I wanted to talk about this. So, and even those who don't have rhythm, it doesn't make them negative. It doesn't make them wrong. It just means that they're not specifically from this planet, meaning that they usually come. That's why you'll see carbon beings, melanated beings, especially with negative roots. Generally, maybe sometimes they don't have that rhythmic connection to Mother Earth. It's because they're connected to the galactic families, and the galactic families are not from here, obviously. So depending on that, that's where you get that disconnection. And it's not negative, and it's not a judgment, because not all beings are the same here, and it's okay. We accept that there's different beings that come with different propensities and different biological connections. Oh, I think I have a bad connection. Okay. Oh, it's lagging. You know what? Because I'm outside. And I'm talking about the Archons. And the Archons have a lot to do with the glitches, too. So the Andromedans. Big up to the Andromedans, who hold it down for Flurboon. And big up to the Sea Stars, who are engaged in that new moon divine fertility activation. Many of us are underway, so big up to y'all. But anyway, so yeah, the Archons are recyclers of individuality. And they are now finding themselves unable to pull or leech or parasite off of the originals. So I say big up to the originals who are from here. You are no longer, the Archons are finding it very difficult to fill off of our uniqueness and our energies, because we are now in a new cycle, and because of that, they are falling. That's why all connected to the Archons is falling apart, because it's an old, architecture that is no longer built with security, because they were built on lies and manipulation and deprivation. The house of cards is falling. So Archons, their architect, is falling. Anything, that's why you're seeing trains crashing. That's why you're seeing Hollywood burning. That anything that was connected to the Archons themselves is now unraveling. It is deactivated. It is breaking apart. It is unraveling. It is being dismantled. And that is what it is. So, but I will tell you, it is notable for you to pay attention right now to what is occurring without judgment. You know, I try. Anytime you see me have some really big judgment is if people are harming other people. I'm real, and especially children, I get real pissed off. So, you know, when I get mad, you'll see me sometimes make videos where I'm so amped up, and I'm sorry, because I am passionate about animals and children and families, and when those harm those who cannot take care of themselves, it just makes me upset, and I apologize if I make videos. I'm feisty, you know, I'm a feisty Creole. Don't get it twisted. I sound all sweet and and nice, but I'm a triple Sag, and when I see you coming for me and mine, I got daggers all over you. I got all kinds of bullseyes on you. Anyway, I think my little people. We're out. Yeah, I'm warm, Scott. I look cold because I'm in a coat. You normally see me free and clear without any clothing on. I prefer to be somewhere warm and less clothing. Clothing to me is an abomination. Naked and unafraid. Anyway, let me stop. So anyway, so I just want to speak about the archons and their connection to nothingness and them only being beings that are parasitic and vampiric. All they do is take from others. They're vampiric. They only utilize the uniqueness of others to be able to sustain themselves and their beings. And for that reason, oh, hey Fleur, there's a purple dome in my bathroom room and it's telepathically connected to other beings. Oh, wait. Where did your comment go? Oh, there it goes. I can see plants, move the sky. Is that the same for you? Oh, beautiful, Lucas. Well, Lucas, show your feet, please. You want to see my feet, Phoenix? That's really, Phoenix. That's really strange. My my abilities are interesting, and I wouldn't note them publicly, obviously for my own safety, as I would denote that you never give, hey CIA rebel, as you would never give your abilities publicly. Our abilities are enhanced and exasperated right now, and for that reason, I would suggest that you don't state your abilities publicly. When we get together, you'll see many of our abilities come through. You see many of my abilities in the other realm. I don't really have to denote them. You'll see them when they come, and if it's meant for you to see. Okay, so I think it's beautiful if you have those abilities, but I would caution you to not state them publicly, okay? Because then you might get the Men in Black and you won't even remember it, and then you won't even remember having abilities. I'm being serious. I'm not scaring you. I'm just saying the Men in Black have been noted to come to people's homes. Big up to Ireland. And when they show up, you don't remember anything. So for that reason, let's keep our abilities to ourselves, okay? Hi Malachi. Oh, tell your son I said hi, CIA. Hi Malachi. That's one of our little C's, the sun stars. Hey Malachi. You see Malachi, I'm cold. That's okay, but I'm staying warm in my coat. Okay, family. So like I said, the archonic system is falling apart. It is the architecture of the matrix. That's why you're seeing everything falling apart, because they can no longer feed off of it. And if they can't feed off of it, they can't create worlds. They can't hold up the worlds. They will create a new world, archonic world, and it will be another world based in slavery and infestation of parasites and vampires. That's how they're able to sustain themselves, the archons. Archons can also be contributed to those negative thought forms in your head that come to life. So, are the Andromedans human? Chris asked. Yes, they are. Yeah, they are human. Yes, there are okay. They are both. Let me restate that. Andromedan system is huge. The Andromedans that I am associated with were human matriarchal women from the Mayan civilization. They, during a cycle that was ending, entered into the inner earth, the inner world, and found themselves a stargate that led to the Andromedan star system, where they befriended a group of insectilians that look like ants. Okay, so they are human, but beings that they rock with are not. And many of the Andromedans are so many different Andromedans. It's not just those sea stars with the dreadlocks or with darker skin. There's many different types of Andromedans. The blue Andromedans, there are insectilian Andromedans. Andromedan star system is huge. So the ones that I rock with look similar to myself, more so than any other of the ET groups. Okay, and the woman that they found on the dark side of the moon, who they call the EBE, is one of us. They won't tell you that, but I'll tell you that. We claim her as our own, and that's who she is. They could say that she's, people have argued with me, cursed me out, talking about the EBE on the dark side of the moon. They say whatever it is. They say the nastiest, most abusive words because they're scared. They're scared that there's a bunch of females that look like Fleur Broom walking around this earth, rebalancing the beams. So yes, the Andromedans that I rock with are human. Okay. And I could say that confidently. Anyway, so the incarnate system is falling down. What I was saying is that the negative thought forms that you create in your head are not usually your own. And if you're drinking and doing drugs and smoking weed every day, listen, my chiefers, big up to the chiefers. You chiefers, you have some connection to some of the archons that are easier to infiltrate your minds. Based on that's why if you chief for a long period of time, you struggle with depression and anxiety, because well, not anxiety because it kind of lowers your field, but after a long time you may. It's because the archons can get into you easier when you have an addiction to anything, even slight bit of coffee. That's why I do decaf. I've done decaf for a while. I just enjoy the ritual of drinking coffee. And yes, coffee does have a slight bit of caffeine, but I do decaf now. I did that a while ago because when I fast and everything like that. But if you do drugs, any drugs, consistently, pharmaceutical, drugs, anything, because each of the pharmaceutical, they have demons attached to some of these drugs. And it's unfortunate because some people need drugs, certain pharmaceuticals, to be able to sustain their lives. I don't ever damn pharmaceuticals because I know that 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 was also the reason why my father lived a longer time, is because when he got cancer, unfortunately, I was not able to get him to Dr. Sebi quick enough, and he had to have artificial heart installed in him, which he was a mechanical man. His heart was only steel, and he was plugged into the wall. Big up to my pops. He passed away last year, around this time, the 28th. But it wasn't if it wasn't for pharmaceuticals, he would not have lived as long as he did. He surpassed the time. So I don't disrespect pharmaceuticals. I'm just saying that it allows for easier infiltration into your mind. Yeah, well, if you grow your own, yes, absolutely. If you grow your own marijuana, that is a better form, because remember, anybody who's holding those seeds and perpetuating those seeds, they will input their own frequency in it, and most weed dealers are not naturopathic people. Okay. Yeah, but if you do grow your own, especially if you're living somewhere where you can cultivate your own hemp or marijuana or things like that. Oh, hold on. I'm hearing somebody. I heard a man's voice. You know. Okay. Sorry. he's speaking. He's speaking another language, so I'm trying to see if I can identify it. He's speaking Russian. Anyway, you can hear it. Yeah. 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 They make it illegal for you to grow your own hemp and your own marijuana or sass. They do. They make it illegal. But if you're somewhere where you can cultivate it yourself, as I know that places where they grow their own marijuana, because even in Jamaica, big up to my brethren in Jamaica. I remember I was dating a guy in my youth, and I was very, very sick. I had a high fever. His great aunt, she was 98 at the time, she came to my mother and gave me overproof rum with marijuana seeds, heirloom marijuana seeds at the bottom that had been steeped for 10 years. Listen to me, family, 10 years. They had places where they kept this. And marijuana steeped, the seeds steeped in it. She put it on my feet and my head. And she said I would hallucinate. Listen to me. She told me I would hallucinate and see white males. I would hallucinate and see white male. No, no, no. She didn't tell me I'd see white male. She said I'll hallucinate. The fever went within 24 hours. My mother said maybe 6 to 8. I started to look like I got color back in my skin. And when I was undergoing the hallucinations, I did see white males in my room. Now, she didn't say that. I misspoke. Afterwards, when I told her what I had the hallucinations, I said I had hallucinations. She said, "Did you see the white males?" I said, "Yes." Now, why would I have the same hallucination that everybody else was having? I did. Russians like the cold, yeah. So, but it did get rid of my fever and my cold. It's wonderful and actually marijuana allows for, it was used as a herb that was a healer. Again, you take beings that are not from regions where marijuana came from, and they abuse it, and they make it synthetic, they change it, and then they ruin it. And they ruin the content of it. It was meant to heal. A lot of our native indigenous people utilize, smoke houses to be able to invoke and to pull in, visions, and to be able to see their family, their ancestors, and have conversations so that they would know what to do or what direction things were to go with the villages or with the clan. So it's interesting that marijuana is becoming legalized, but if it's becoming legalized, it's because they demonize the seeds. They damn the seeds. And they're not heirloom, they're genetically modified. So, I don't have a problem with marijuana. I have a problem with how it's being utilized, and how it is grown, and how it is misused. That's all I'm saying. Anything that's a herb, I'm a fan of. But when you change your herb and you make it into a drug, then you have an issue. Because I've never, remember, I'm a woman of a certain age. I know plenty of people who are chiefers over years, and chiefers for years that are and remember, most of them are not growing their own that I know, except the ones in the Caribbean that I know for a fact are growing their own. They're not well mentally. They usually lose a lot of their mental facilities later on. The only ones I know that have not are the Dreadies in Jamaica and in Trinidad. So those are the only ones I know that I've not seen a degenerative quality in their mindset and even in their memory. For those who smoke here, I've only seen degeneration. I've seen people lessen. I've seen people who smoked weed for 20 years. I've seen they lost their memory. They're not able to think properly, and they become quite sick later on. And I keep it real. Okay, so anyway, yeah. So, again, when I went to Jamaica, I saw the fields of marijuana they had, and these were heirlooms. These were the seeds that they were utilizing, were seeds that superseded 100 years, I think. Forgive me, because I have to remember the gentleman who took us there. Yeah, and also, if you smoke a lot of marijuana, you can't dream anymore, and that's also a denotion that something's wrong. Because even with the dreadies, the Nazi dreads, big up to the Nazi dreads up in the bush, up in Jamaica and Trinidad, up in Panama as well. They live up in the bush. I'm down with the bush people, and with them, they still have dreams. But I notice that people who smoke marijuana here don't dream anymore. And that's a connection to the type of seeds that the marijuana is being grown with, and the type of beings that are handling the seeds and the actual herb. Okay, everything's connected, everything's frequency. If you go to McDonald's, McDonald's could be masterful. If you had goddesses preparing McDonald's, and regardless of what McDonald's was, your food would create wonderful things in you. If you go to McDonald's, the beings, if they're angry, if they're sad, if they're pissed off because they're not getting paid a lot of money, that frequency goes into your food, and that's what you're absorbing. Not just the animals that have been abused and killed heinously. You're absorbing the negative field of those beings in preparation of your food that you place in your body. That's why it's very important. That's why that's why I always check out companies with lotions, anything. I make most of my things. If I don't make it, I make sure I find out the integrity of people. Because if you are utilizing something that has been harmed, like diamonds has blood on it. A lot of beings in diamond factories, a lot of beings have been associated with the killing and murdering of African children and people for diamonds. That has a negative frequency on it, because you take not only the beings that are mining the diamonds, children that are used to mine and die, and people die in the mines, but you take the beings who extort the diamonds and utilize it. So diamonds that are beautiful and masterful, and actually diamonds are great to open up stargates, which diamonds and rubies and emeralds, a lot of these jewels that only the kings and queens had access to, they utilize them to open stargates, or to create sacred geometry to allow for protection, or build up walls, whatever have you. But that has negative frequency. So every time you wear a diamond, because you're not going to get the best quality diamonds, you're going to get, if you're buying them from, especially from the States, you're going to get diamonds unless you have that kind of money. Like canary diamonds and the what is it, the canary diamonds and the black diamonds and things like that. If you have access to those are being handled pristinely and by higher beings. They're not being handled by low field beings. The diamonds, the cheaper diamonds that you get, that most people buy, their engagement rings and so on, that you put on the finger, that is connected directly to your heart. This finger is the only finger that has a nerve that's directly to your heart. So you put on a diamond that has been mined by children that have died and given to you, that will bring heartache in your life. So be mindful, diamonds do matter, and majority of people can't afford the ones that are pristinely held by higher beings. Okay, they keep that for themselves. They sell all the ones with blood diamonds. That's why they're called blood diamonds. I don't want to make you paranoid. I just want to make you aware. Okay, and if everything matters. How do you protect yourself from the suggestions of others? You have to be able to control your own mind. We can't control others outside of yourself, but you got to be able to control your own mind. And you need to sit and quiet. You need to learn to be able to do that, quiet your mind. That's where I do suggest that meditation is masterful. I'm not a fan of meditation in most ways, but I think it is a tool, one tool that you utilize at one point, and it will take you to a higher level of consciousness. Once you get to that higher level of consciousness, it's not necessity for you to do tools to be at the higher form of self. So I would say that you start to sit in meditation and quiet your mind. Also sit by the trees. They will help you to focus. That will help you. Also use stones that are grounding. Stop walking around with high heels or rubber soles. Rubber soles keep you from feeling the vibration of the earth. Okay, so by grounding yourself, I would suggest you walk around, even in the cold, just for a moment. Ground yourself in the soil. Oh, Flurburn, I am trying to get your attention, but I guess. Oh, what happened, Patience? Oh, what happened, Patience? I see you now. I just heard you. Did something happen, Patience? Let me see. Oh, Abdul? Okay, let's see Abdul. I didn't see him, Patience. Thank you. Let me see Abdul. Abdul, okay. Okay. Okay, thank you, Patience. I've got it. I'm on it. I appreciate that. Sometimes I see the stream. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Patience. I appreciate that. I didn't know what he was saying. Sometimes I see the comments go so quickly, and I don't necessarily see every comment. Sometimes people will say, well, how come you don't respond to me? It's because I may see 2 or 3 comments out of a stream of comments. I apologize. He's off. I'm just asking prayers. I'm very afraid for me, my children. Can you pray for me? Chicago, I'm very afraid of me and my children. Take the fear out. Okay, be careful over there, okay? Okay. Zip up to your zip up the top. Zip all the way up. Okay, the coat. There you go. All right. Okay, sorry, my little one's out here. Okay, yeah, take fear out of the equation. Okay, nothing can do anything to you without your acknowledgement of it or your acceptance of it. Okay, you and your children will always be safe as long as you see yourself as safe. Take the mindset of danger and fear out of you. You are a purposeful being. You were purposefully brought here. You are in alignment with your soul goal and development. So whatever comes at you will be something that you've cherry picked specifically for yourself to go through in order to enhance and to upgrade and to ascend into higher levels of consciousness. Okay? So you'll always be safe. If you're worried about the babies and so on, I want you to see yourself well. Put water next to the bed when you sleep and put a little blue in it. Camphor is really nice to put in the water next to your bed when you sleep. That'll allow you to have better dreams. Put a white candle in your room for serenity, and white and blue for serenity and peace. That will help you as a tool to keep you feeling like you're safe. Sometimes it's better to fake it till you make it. So put tools around that allows you to feel safe. See yourself. Always have happy pictures of your children and yourself. Keep it on your person so that it will be a consistent reminder of good times. Okay? If someone is bothering you outside, you have to say to yourself, what about inside of me is perpetuating and projecting this type of being to come into my realm of consciousness and my realm of, being. Okay? Am I already, oh King Ezekiel, am I already in 5th dimension? I'm in many dimensions. I'm in 5th, I've been in 6th, I've been in 9th, I've been in 13th. I've been in many dimensions. I don't stay because my vibration fluctuates, so I go to the vibration to where my vibration is matching. For the most part, right now I'm out in the matrix. When I'm out in my bubble, most of the time I'm in my bubble, you see that's a 5D and above, meaning that is a place that I've purposefully manifested based on my higher field consciousness. Okay, out in the matrix, I I've already made a consensual agreement to come out in the matrix to engage with others who are not in living in 5D perimeters. And because of that, when I engage with them, I stay in a vibration that is within the realm that they exist. When I leave them, then I go into the vibration that matches with those beings that exist outside of the matrix. Okay? Your wife has left you. How do you get, okay. Uptown? You may not want her back, Uptown. If your wife has left you, you may not want her back. You know, things, there are reasons and seasons for everything. Okay? And in seasons, you know, generally we stay in relationships that, you know, supersede their expiration date. And I've already talked about this in previous, and I don't want to really perpetuate this, but, I myself, and I talk to you from a position of myself, my own existence. I was with a being for many years, 17 years. He was very cruel. He was my Nazi, big up to the Nazi, very heinous, and I would have stayed for the reason that it was something that I knew. But once I made a decision that I deserved, or I wanted to exist in a way that was free from that kind of censure and that kind of egregiousness, that being no longer had the ability to stay within my perimeters. And he couldn't, even to now, it's very limited how much time he can stay near or clear or contact me, because my vibration superseded, shot up when that being left. So if you are a higher conscious being yourself, and you are doing everything that we talk about on these streams and other people, and, you know, eating well and healthy, living your highest life, if you are treating people with the same degree of respect and integrity and dignity that you require and would like for yourself, then that being who has left you was not in that alignment. And I'm grateful for you to have expelled her from your life. There will be another being more to your frequency that will come in when you are more healed and available for another higher conscious being to come into your own personal space. Okay? So let her go with love, wish her well, and keep it moving. Okay? It's not cold, it's self-love. Okay? Self-love comes with balance and, and self-restraint and higher understanding and overstanding. But everyone here seems oblivious to it. Patience. Patience, Uptown, just do you. Enjoy this personal time. If she was holding you back, if she was doing things that were negative, if she was consistently questioning you doing higher field things, that being is not for you. There are others for you. And sometimes the best person for us is ourselves. And I told you, someone asked, how do I bring someone who loves me? Love yourself first, and you will bring someone who loves you. When you start displaying love for self, I write love letters to myself. I've made love to myself, and it's not, people are like, oh, that's disgusting. No, it's, I have to show others how to treat me. You show other people how to treat yourself by how you treat yourself. So if I'm putting higher expectations on others outside of myself to treat me better than I treat myself, I'm always going to have war, and I'm always going to have dissemination. You have to love yourself first. You have to show yourself first. Listen, I'm sitting out here in the cold. I love talking to you. I love sitting in nature. This is what I do. Do you ever see, I require zero company. My company that I enjoy the most are my little ones. I love my little ones. That's a company that I desire. But you don't see me having to require a mate to have these conversations with you, do you? Because I love myself. And when I have my mate, it is my personal time with them, and I enjoy the company with them. But I don't require him to be with me all the time. I don't require him to engage in every aspect of my life. He is a part of my life in a way that's healthy and balanced, but without taking over and without making my life only about his or his only about me. Because two full beings will come together. And we talked about, hey Eric, we talked about the twin flames coming back online. Maybe Uptown, your twin flame is coming, and your old mate had to go in order to make room for your twin soul to come to you. So if your twin soul is coming, they can't come to you if you're already attached. That would be a violation. So twin souls can only come together when they're clearing free. Okay, so if your twin flame is coming, you can't have another mate there. Twin souls are not going to come to married people. They're not going to come to people already attached. They will come to people free and clear that are open in heart space and time and frequency. Okay? So, family, I know I kept your attention long. Watch the archonic system fall down. Don't laugh at them. Don't relish in their demise, because they will, remember, they're architectures of the matrix and pyramids of the matrix, so they will recreate another environment for themselves. That's what they do. And some of the lower field beings, like 3D beings, 2D beings, those who create the hell that many of you experience, they will be going to the new zip code of the archons that they're recreating now, while those of us who have decided to accept our divinity and upgrade ourselves and uplift ourselves and live in higher frequency with integrity, we will be going to a new earth, which we're already permeating into. Their old system is falling apart. So it is what it is. Can't stop, won't stop. Anyway, so I love you, family. Have a masterful day. I'm going to go warm up a little bit, and then I'm going to, what's being we'll talk about a couple things. Like, I see you have a lot of topics here. Maybe I'll take a day to answer some of the questions. I don't know everything, so don't, I want you to expect me to be as perfectly imperfect. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So I don't want to make it seem as if I know all and all be all. No, I know what I know, okay? And I know a lot of things based on the fact that I've been on the planet for a while, and I'm grateful that I have a lot of beings that I kiki with from all over the world. And I'm grateful for their presence in my life, because they teach me daily, they humble me, and I learn more about myself and more about our world every single time I talk to each one of you. So it's not, it's not just about me, it's about us coming together, because a lot of things I learned from you. Okay, so I love you. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go play with my little ones in the woods. Running out in the woods already. Peace.